the strength work raises your ceiling, your speed ceiling, and the speed work gets you up to the ceiling.
My legs looked very, very white. I was wearing a pair of shorts and my legs looked really horrible, actually. Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of the Birdie Golf Club podcast. This week we are joined by Andrew Guyton from SpeedStix, and he's going to tell us all about what makes SpeedStix the ideal training program, training aid to help you gain speed and with that improve your golf game. Speed's one of those things with golf that we all think we've got, and then you find somebody who's got 10 mile an hour more than you, and you realise you haven't. So anything that can improve that, get us closer to those greens, is going to lower the scores. So Andrew's a fantastic guy to talk to. I really enjoyed the chat with him. I've personally just started my SpeedStix journey, which I'll be documenting through my Instagram page, and it'll be fascinating to see if any of you decide to join me on that journey and gain more speed. If my friend Matt is listening to this, you don't need any more speed. Stop now. Absolute freak when it comes to swing speed. Insane. So yeah, Matt, no thank you. But the rest of you, join me. What happened this weekend in the world of golf that we can maybe just briefly talk about before we get to Andrew? Well, we had Min Woo Lee win his first tournament. Now, Min Woo Lee is one of those guys that has shown some incredible athleticism. Talk about speed, it's quite apt really that he won this week, because that guy has got so much speed, like cruises at 190. It's incredible, and he's always sort of had that speed as well, and he's worked on it over the years a bit, obviously, to get there. But with him, it always felt like the mental side of the game sort of let him down more often than not. He speaks quite often of his sister, Minji Lee, and the fact that she has won so many tournaments and he does feel a little bit in her shadow. And this week he just showed that bit of grit. Didn't play bad by any means on the Sunday, but went into it with a 4-shot lead. Shot 3 under. Pretty respectable when you're leading a tournament and nerves come into play. It just felt a lot tighter, obviously, because of the mistake he made on 16, I think it was, where he went into the water, which is just one of those holes that I think because of the rest of the course, it kind of was just swing as hard as you can. You're in the rough, it's not thick, you can just hack it out. You get to the 16th and there's actual real punishment for errant drives, and his was very, very right. Didn't even cross the path of the water at any point, so that was a brief mistake, but he did really well. Came back from it. Obviously Scotty showed that he is gaining that form that we expected to see leading into the tournament in a couple of weeks' time, that little tournament at Augusta National. So that was no surprise. Good to see Gary Woodland, obviously after sort of Netflix fame that shot him up there, US Open winner, but the Netflix Full Swing documentary showed him in a really interesting light. It sort of went a little bit under the radar for a lot of people that he had brain surgery, but that really highlighted the struggles that he's had, and just his home life, how that was affected as well. So amazing to see him playing well, leading into obviously the Masters, but also just for his own game, his own life as well, to see him playing well. Other noticeable guys that were in the top 10, Wyndham Clark, showing an amazing fight back ability. I think he was on the cut line and finishes up tied for 5th, along with Rory McIlroy as well. And Rory was pretty steady, I thought. Played pretty well. Had some things that he didn't do as well as others, but I'm almost glad he doesn't win this week, because if he wins this week, it becomes a foregone conclusion that he's going to do it, the Masters. Whereas at least with this, it maybe doesn't put him as much in the spotlight, but it's Rory. He's always going to be in the spotlight, and I think he's pretty used to that as well. There's some interesting stuff with Toasty, which is a great name, and I am nice and toasty at the moment. It's quite warm, which is good. So thank you to the Argentinian man, Toasty. That has nothing to do with anything. This is what happens when I talk to myself. He had that whole thing of, was he holding up play, going down into the last round, and was he making it difficult for Minwoo Lee? He came back, he sort of fought back against Bones on the coverage and said, like, I was using the restroom, I was filling up a hydration drink, that's why I was 50 yards behind everyone else. It is one of those things sometimes where they're looking like they're trying to create a bit of a storyline. Like, we've all been in the situation on the golf course where you fall behind a little bit of your playing partners because you're messing around in your bag, or you need to go to the toilet, whatever it might be. So I thought that was a bit unfair on him. They sort of painted him in this light of being this guy who was basically upset he wasn't having a good round, and that he was trying to distract Minwoo Lee. Like, as much as they want there to be that much sort of flames and inflammatory stuff going on within the tour, it's just not really there. You lose guys like Patrick Reed, you're not going to have as much sort of fire going into events. So other than that, was there anything particularly noticeable that went on? I can't really think of anything, to be honest. It was a pretty standard weekend of golf, really. But it's all setting itself up pretty nicely, isn't it? I'm probably missing something huge. If so, put it in the comments. Say, you're an idiot, this happened. But I can't think of anything in my head. TGL finished last Wednesday. Well, Tuesday, was it? Should have been Wednesday if it was a 3-parter, but finished on Tuesday. Yeah, it didn't really have a huge amount of excitement really leading into it. Billy Horschel looked like he was having a lot of fun. Is Billy Horschel enough for that event to continue to build steam? No, you're going to need to see the big names perform. And yeah, it needs to decide what it is. Is it a serious competition, or is it an exhibition? And I think both have a purpose. So once it settles on that, I thought they made improvements as it went along, but it kind of lost a lot of spark for me, that event, as it went. Became less and less bothered about tuning in. But let's see what they do in season 2. It could be interesting. It's golf on a Monday and a Tuesday. That's fine by me. More golf, the better at the end of the day. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you so much to everyone that listens. Again, I say this every week, but it means so much to me. Please, if you can, if you haven't already, leave a review, share with your friends, and come find us on social media. Birdie Golf Club Podcast on pretty much everywhere. Lots of different stuff going on there. Currently a match with Chris, so at KSB Golf, that you remember from previous podcasts. That's being sort of collaborated. That's being collaborated, or a collaboration is going on between our accounts. That'd be a better way of saying it. So check out that. And without much further ado, let's just throw it to the fantastic chat I had with Andrew Guyton from SpeedStix. What's your background, Andrew, if you want to introduce yourself to everyone, and what made you want to start SpeedStix? I know that's a big question, but
not such a big question actually, because it was a fairly easy path into it. So
perfect.
My background, I'm a Kiwi, so born and bred in New Zealand, but been over here on and off since '99. I think it was when I first arrived over here, and like most of my countrymen, well, a good percentage of them anyway, rugby was sort of my first sport, if you like. first
Hmm.
passion. I spent the first few years traveling back and forwards playing rugby in various places. Played over here, played in Ireland, had a contract to play in Australia at a point as well. And then when you get a little bit older and start to realize that the game is a bit more difficult as you turn over 30, um, stopped playing that and took and well, I'd played golf since I started quite a late starter. Started when I was 22. My old man was a scratch golfer. He was a scratch golfer for quite a long time.
Hmm.
Um, so I used to be able to say, I used to say I'd never had a lesson, but truth be told, Dad and I go to the range probably 2 or 3 times a week, and because as I'm sure you're aware with yourself, probably when you start this game and the bug bites you pretty hard. So
Hmm.
yeah, we would be at the range and hitting golf balls for many hours with under his tutelage. So that was sort of my start of my golf career, if you like,
Hmm.
or playing golf. And we would, generally speaking, during the summer, golf would be the sport. During the winter, rugby on Saturday and golf on Sunday. So
Okay.
that was
Multi-sports athlete.
uh, yeah. I suppose you could say that. I mean, I had a so the I've always I've always had a like of hitting the ball hard.
Hmm.
That probably comes from the fact that my dad was pretty long. He'd even up into his when did he stop playing? He probably stopped playing in his sort of 50s, mid 50s. I think he stopped playing.
Hmm.
Finished on a 4 handicap,
Oh
but
wow, yeah.
he could still give it a good thump. I mean him and I. As I was sort of going through my sort of early golfing career or even later golfing career when I was down into single figures, he'd be it was hard to knock it past him. He could give it a good ride. So
Yeah.
um yeah, that was always a thing I liked doing. Um net from rugby, I guess, I was pretty keen on the gym. I
Hmm.
was a front rower in rugby, so I wasn't a small bloke.
Hmm.
So I sort of had that base level strength, if you like. But the SpeedStix thing, so my day job, I'm a programmer. I worked in the financial services industry in London for as a contractor for most of my UK career. And there was a place that I held very dear to my heart called City Golf in town in London. It was in Gresham Street. Gresham Street? No, Coleman Street, I think.
Hmm.
Actually, yeah. And for 10 years, I was a member there, and I used to go probably 3 to 4 times a week in the morning. I'd be down there hitting golf balls before work. So I'd get there sort of when the doors opened and hit golf balls for an hour and a half before I'd pop along to work. So that was a nice way to start the day, really.
Yeah.
And that was the birthplace of SpeedStix because part of City Golf, so they had and this is way back before sort of simulators were as popular as they are now. They had 6 simulator bays.
Right.
Um,
So well
a
ahead of
gym.
their time.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They were. I mean, they unfortunately went stopped operating. I think in 2018. I think it was when they
Okay.
when they finished up.
That's a shame. They sort of just missed the
Yeah,
boom, didn't they?
yeah. It was unfortunate
No, it's
because it.
devastating.
Well, they had a reasonably healthy membership. There was a few of us down there, and they'd have a few functions and stuff. There was a bar and all that sort of thing as well. But
Mm.
they also had a gym attached to it
Oh,
that
that's cool.
one of the business partners in SpeedStix, Mike, he's a golf specific PT. So he was down there along with a couple of other guys, and they're doing golf specific training. Um, And Kenny, the other business partner in SpeedStix, he was one of the golf pros, one of the original golf pros in there
Okay.
at City Golf. So, um, what happened to sort of start this all off? I went to do some training with Mike. I had and I'd been with him training for about probably it was a few months. And my baseline speed, I mean, I've like I said, they had sort of GC2s with HMT at City Golf, so they had all the head measurement technology as well. So we could get good baseline numbers and exactly what your ball was doing. And being a programmer and a bit of a data geek, that I like that sort of thing. So I'm all over numbers, sort of all have been,
Yeah.
always have been. So my swing speed at the time was pretty standard at 107. It was just,
Mm.
that was where it was. Never really deviated much from that, no matter how hard I tried to swing at it. That was kind of the number it would be. Um, Carried it about 270 with those numbers when I got everything optimized.
Yeah.
Um, According to the GC2. So even after 4 or 5 months of training with Mike, whilst my body felt a lot better in
Mm.
terms of the niggly injuries and stuff that you can carry playing golf, and the
Yeah.
rigors of sort of playing were easier. The swing speed was always sort of the same.
Mm-hmm.
So that was didn't really change. I did have an injury where I did my back, and I think that was what triggered me going to see Mike, and that was a hang up from rugby, basically an imbalance in the body that Mike cleaned up, which helped with things. But we had somewhere through that, and I can't remember the exact dates now because it's a wee while ago. But so Mike started me on it was some speed training in addition to the stuff we'd been doing in the gym. So the gym work was predominantly focused around strength stuff, a little bit of mobility work, and then we got into the simulators and started swinging lighter things fast.
Mm-hmm.
And within 2 weeks of that training, the top swing speed I got to was 119,
Wow.
and the carry was 300. Yeah, it was just
That's some decent gains
different
there, isn't
gravy.
it?
And that
Wow.
yeah, so it's not the the I mean, the science behind it's pretty well proven and pretty well trodden. Bryson sort of is the epitome of it, if you like, that he
Mm.
got very, very strong and then very, very fast.
Yeah.
And you can't get very, very fast without having a base level of strength,
Yeah.
because basically what what you need for or I guess the background to it is that if you think of it, that the strength work raises your ceiling, your
Mm-hmm.
speed ceiling, and the speed work gets you up to the ceiling. So you need both of them. You can't if you
Can't
just
just
do the
train for
strength
speed.
work.
Yeah.
No, and you can't. I mean, you will get some gains by doing that, but you won't get the optimal gains.
Yeah.
And equally, if you just do a bunch of gym work without the speed training, you won't get the speed, because whilst your body, I mean, I was the kind of the perfect example of that. If you like, I'd be doing the strength work for a good probably 4 to 6 months prior to that, but no change in the
Yeah.
measured speed. And I'd be measuring it, 2 or 3 times a week because I was in the simulator. And generally speaking, when I was in there, I was, I'd be belting a fair few drivers,
Yeah.
and the numbers are just there. I could sit, but it was um, rapidly apparent when, I mean, actually, the first time I I got that big jump, I thought the thing was broken. I thought, oh,
Right.
no, that can't be right. Something going on here. I went in one of the other sims, and I went, geez, it's still doing that. No, this can't be right. And then I went and played, and it was like, holy
Yeah, yeah.
folks, this is just crazy. I mean, it was you know, 30 yards through the air equates to a bit more than that when it lands as well. So
Changed the
it's
game
just
for
a
you a bit,
different
yeah.
game. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's a statistical fact that the further you hit it, the easier it is to score. I mean,
Hmm.
there's a couple of very good books that I'd advise everyone to read. One of them's Every Shot Counts by Brody. He's the guy that started Mark Brody. He's the guy that started Strokes Gained, which you
Yep.
hear mentioned pretty much every week on the PGA Tour.
Every
And
time. Yeah,
and
yeah.
Arcos, if you've got Arcos or
Hmm.
any other score tracking systems, it's how you measure things in golf statistically. Um, and that shows the biggest differentiator for scores is how far you hit it, because the
Yeah.
game's just easier the closer you are.
A wedge in your hand
Yeah,
instead of a 7 iron is going to
yeah,
be,
yeah,
yeah,
and a wedge
yeah,
in the hand from the rough's better than a 7 iron from the middle of the fairway. It
yeah,
just statistically proves it.
yeah.
It's not. I mean, Bryson didn't win the US Open from the middle of the fairway,
No, no.
so
Sort of chopping down roots, wasn't he?
he
On the other
was he
side
was
of the thing, and then out of
yeah, yeah,
bunkers, and
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and there's another one, lowest score wins, which is a similar follows a similar sort of path, just talking about how to score basically.
Yeah, because you've got decade
Um,
golf as well. Have you Scott Fawcett sort of
yeah, yeah.
decade
So
golf
Scott,
system?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So I have I follow that as well, and that's a great resource. I mean, he's the same basically. It's pull your driver out your bag, and then as
see
the
where you
first
end up.
thought should be that, and then it's oh well, if you can't hit it into the window, then maybe you pick another club. But generally speaking, if it's not a par three, then you should be hitting your driver unless it's going to put you out of bounds or in a hazard. So
Yeah, absolutely.
um,
Yeah,
yeah,
so that was interesting because when we spoke, obviously, and thank you for sending out the SpeedStix system. I'm into week 2 of training with it, and your story actually resonates quite a bit with me because that 107 is basically where I sit. That sort of 106, 107. I can get it up to 110, but I feel like I'm swinging out my shoes, and I almost didn't know how I got it to that. When you hit it, it's like, okay, that happened, but I don't know if I could replicate that again because that's top end.
yeah,
And just from basically to explain the speed stick system of when you get it from a user's point of view, you very easy to set up. First of all, you can use your own driver shaft, which is big for everyone. You're not having to carry different sticks around. You literally can go straight into your driver shaft, nice and easy, locks in 3 different weights, perfect. But the first step is obviously to understand where your weaknesses are. Um, and that was really helpful in the training portal online, which everyone who purchases SpeedStix has access to. It has it there ready for you to basically follow a few different things and just to comment on did you feel pain when you did this, or were you not able to be stable through this process? And it found for me multiple areas where I just had not enough flexibility. A few of us I was aware of. I fell off a ladder when I was about 17 onto my hip, and I know that my right hip, I don't have great flexibility in it. So it immediately noticed that with basically hip hinge wasn't great. So, work on that. So I've been doing that. And the exercise is super simple to follow as well. You can pick what level of equipment you have available to you, which is very helpful. But there was a few areas that I wasn't aware of, balance related things, and also even my shoulder turn as well. I noticed there was some weaknesses there.
yeah,
Um, and like yourself, I was up to about 2 years ago, I was a pretty avid gym goer. And I was, for my height, 5'9", I don't weigh a lot, like 13 stone. I was pretty I was pretty decently strong for that. For that, I had of good power. So it
Yeah.
was always frustrating to me that I would look at some guys that were hitting it further than me and be like, I know I have power. I just don't know how to transmit this to my driver.
And they had to unlock it. Yeah.
Yeah, like I knew I had that more powerful than them. Like, if we did like a power exercise, I'm pretty sure I could beat them. But how am I going to swing this thing hard enough and what am I missing? And early comments, 'cause obviously I'm early days into the training. But when I did my first SpeedStix session, all of the points that were brought out during, I think what I've really like, I'm trying to put this in the best way possible for people to understand, but all of the things that you're doing through your training, when you take it to that first speed session with the weighted heads, you then remember all the points that it was. Like for me, it was the belt buckle, you know, tightening the
Yeah.
glutes,
Yeah.
belt buckle pointed up, and abs engaged. And basically, I was trying to find this point where I felt like that spine angle was not neutralized to the point of obviously being like this, but just more stronger position to be in. And
Yeah.
that was such a different feeling over the drive because normally I would probably be a little bit hunched, which immediately is putting you in a less powerful position, probably not enough knee bend because of that. And and immediately I just felt, ah, okay, I can I can transfer all that things that I've been learning to this speed session, and then in turn, when a driver gets in my hand, and also with other clubs as well. So that was like from feedback from me of early doors of doing it. That one thing, obviously, I don't know if my speed's increased yet. It's a bit early days for that, and I'll wait until a few weeks in, and then I'll go and test it. But for that, yeah, it was really really good, Andrew. I thought it was a brilliant user experience to
Yeah.
understand that. Yeah,
Glad to hear that. I mean, that's so one of the I mean, I'm pretty confident in saying we're the only speed training aid out there that has a full program like this.
yeah,
And there's a good reason for that, and the reason is with Mike on board, and the program that I went through, basically it was as much about the speed training as about injury prevention as well. I mean, we don't want someone going out there getting a set of speed sticks, trying to swing out their boots and then doing their back in.
yeah.
And that doesn't do them any good, and it doesn't do us any good
No,
because someone's report to their mate at the golf club's going to be, oh well, I tried these speed sticks and now I'm out for 6 weeks with a
yeah.
dodgy back. So
Yeah, you can see it
um,
already, kind of. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, that point you make about the belt buckle up
yeah,
is that neutralized spine position puts your lower back in a position where it can make a powerful move
yeah,
without putting pressure on it. So that's whereas most of us, especially those of us that sit in the chair most of the time, we have you have poor posture,
mm,
and that poor posture translates across to your setup in your golf swing, and you have that pelvic tilt the wrong way where it's not neutralizing your spine. It just puts pressure on your lower back.
yeah,
So and there is, I mean, I've there are going through the mobility program and in the tests, there are a lot of things that I failed because I've got a lot of probably poor habits from my when I was going to the gym when I was a rugby player, where I'd do a lot of lifting heavy stuff, but not a lot of stretching and mobility work. So,
yeah,
I that limits movements in a lot of places that I need to move for a golf swing. So we've basically Mike's through because he's developed this entire program throughout his many years of experience as a golf specific PT. So that's kind of why that's there as the first sort of thing you do. Let test all of the things that need to move in certain ranges of motion, and those that you don't pass, then here's the list of things you've got to do to fix it.
yeah,
And if you just did that, then you're probably going to increase speed
Yeah.
because things are gonna move.
My abs were hurting. I'll be honest,
Yeah,
my abs were hurting just from that. And then I
yeah,
saw it popped up for the next day, and I was like, okay, all right, here we go.
yeah,
I was
that's
hoping
it.
it was like a twice a week thing. I was like, okay,
No, but
day two.
so the mobility work is because you can't overload your body with the mobility work. Um, um, you can with the sort of strength training,
Yeah,
you want to give your bodies rest from that, but when it comes to the mobility stuff, if you can do that every day, then at the end of the 4 weeks, then you're going to see a massive improvement in that mobility. You'll have longer clubhead travel. Longer clubhead travel equals more speed.
yeah, yeah,
So, and also, it's not. I mean, there's very very few guys on the PGA Tour that have short swings. I can think of two, and
yeah,
that's probably about it. John Rahm and Tony Finau. And if you've ever seen Tony Finau take a full swing at it and see how
yeah,
fast he hits it, then
yeah.
not many of
Exactly.
us can send it as far as he does with a
And
three-quarter swing.
John
So
Rahm's just a case. He had club foot, wasn't it, as a kid? So
exactly, yeah,
and he also played. I forgot what they call it now in Spain. It's essentially a bit like oh, I've forgotten the name of it. Someone will know the name. Listeners will know the name. But he played a sport where essentially that move was exactly the same move.
oh, like hurling sort of thing, was it?
Yeah, that sort of thing. And he basically just that from here to there. So
Yeah,
when he took up golf, just did exactly the same thing. And obviously, big guy can hit it
yeah,
a long way, but you can only imagine how far he'd probably hit it
yeah.
if he had a full swing. Yeah,
If you go all the way around, yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it does give you more time as well. So one of the interesting things and one of the I guess biggest myths, if you like, about speed training is that once if you do speed training, you're going to start hitting it all over the planet. I mean, it's actually the opposite. Because um, as you sort of alluded to at the start of the sort of program, if you're actually trying to hit the ball hard or swing fast, um, then you you sort of you feel it's all you sort of feel all out of sorts.
yeah,
You feel like you're swinging out of your boots. It's not it's not a comfortable feeling. Whereas when you increase your speed, then it just sort of feels like it comes naturally. So
yeah,
it's really the difference between swinging hard and swinging fast. We're going to teach you to swing fast.
yes. And I
Um,
think one of the things I noticed as well is that the last thing I probably thought about was my golf swing during the SpeedStix training. Like I was thinking a lot more about mm, core stability, the transfer of weight, obviously making sure that I'm shifting onto my right and then into my left, early were like the main things I was thinking of. And I always think that transfers to a better swing. Sometimes golfers, it's like we get so caught up in swing thoughts and doing this. You just want to take one thing to a course and work on it. And obviously, the speed training doesn't affect that. In fact, it makes everything a little bit simpler because, naturally things are happening a little bit faster, but also you're more aware of your body through that process as well.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And yeah, I mean, with for the speed training to be effective, really, you're just trying to shift it as fast as you can. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not about swinging, you know, your particular golf swing fast
Hmm.
when you're doing speed training. You just try and shift it as fast as you can. Your body will naturally organize itself into doing the correct things to shift it fast.
Hmm.
I mean, it's the same as any as you get better and better at the game of golf, then you'll find that your body does start to self-organize to do things in the right way.
Yeah.
I mean, a great example of that was Rory when he wanted to implement a bit of a swing change over the break period.
Mm.
I don't know if you saw this on one of his interviews, but he said that he spent, I think it was 2 weeks, or might have been 3 weeks, where he hit a ball into a simulator with the simulator turned off.
Yeah.
So he didn't want to see the ball flight,
Hmm.
because when you see the ball flight, then you react to the ball flight. It's like it's going left, then well, I'm going to do this thing to stop it going left or whatever, and you start, trying to you react to what the ball's doing when you're trying to make the change. So when you're doing speed training, there isn't a ball there.
Yeah.
So there's nothing to be thinking about. Oh, I've got to do, get my this in this position and my, wrist in this position, whatever. We just trying to move it fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, there is and what is it, unintended, maybe not so much unintended, but perhaps certainly unthought about by a lot of people, side benefit to the weights in the speed training system, like what in the SpeedStix system, the heavyweight is very useful for training golf swing rather than speed.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Because
Mm.
if you put the heavyweight on the end of your shaft and then try and say move that with a very wristy swing or
Hmm.
or anything other than actually using the ground and your body effectively,
Yeah.
it's very hard. In fact, you probably can't do it. So
Probably quite
you'll
hard to come
find,
from over the top as well. I'd have
yeah,
thought like probably hard to come from an out to in.
yeah. It,
Yeah.
it just kind of puts everything in the right place and
Mm.
really forces you to use the ground effectively.
Yes.
And that's a massive predictor of speed as well. The more efficiently someone can use the ground, the more they push in hard onto their left side and then post off of that left side, the faster the club is going to move and the further you're going to hit it.
Yeah.
So using the heavyweight in that way, as well as part of your trainings, is massively beneficial. I mean, I've Kenny, the golf coach at as part of SpeedStix, he's very big on utilizing that in his
Okay.
lessons as to get his clients using the ground effectively.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I mean, I'm actually gonna leave that. I actually have the heavyweight left on that shaft now, because I've got a different driver coming anyway. So I'm gonna leave that in the bag for like warming up, because I always would warm up with two clubs anyway, just to try and
Yep. Yep.
crack the body into shape essentially. So having that now will enable me to basically use that as like my heavy club essentially
Yep.
for warming up on course as well. So the duality of the benefits of the fact that obviously it does a great job at the start of your speed training session as the thing that's going to really get you moving your body and and then going from that to the lightweight is
Yep.
crazy. Like I feel so fast when I
Yeah.
when
Well,
I
I tell you a really good thing. A really good warm up for golf would be one, first doing the warm up out of the SpeedStix training program.
Yep.
So you get your body primed.
Yes. Yep.
Then you use the heavyweight to get that feeling. Then use the lightweight to start swinging fast. What you'll find is you'll get a jump in speed. If you're telling your body at the start that you want to be swinging things fast,
Mhm.
then from the first tee you'll find you'll be hitting it further.
Okay. All
So
right.
so
Well,
I
I'm going to
I
do this. I'm
always
going to do
I
this.
always like to warm up with a couple of sets of the lightweight,
Yeah.
swing it fast, so that right from the first you're ready to start shifting it, because you're not your body's primed for speed at that point. It has muscles have a you know they have a memory. So when you they're sort of, you've basically told them this is what we're doing, and they're kind of then ready to go.
Okay. It's great. All right. Well, I'm trying to think of when I'm next playing next because the weather has just been
Yeah.
dreadful.
Summer.
Um, I've got a simulator session next Monday evening, so that's going to be. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. I feel I'll film it as well. Send it over
Oh,
to you.
yeah, do for sure. It'll be interesting to have a wheel up.
Yeah. So where are you sitting? Where's your club head speed sitting now? So you said you were hovering around that 106, sort of 107 mark.
Yeah, so
Jumped
I,
up to
so so that
119.
yeah, so I'd have loved to have kept it at 119, but I had I got lazy because this was obviously so I guess to kind of finish off the story of SpeedStix,
Yeah, yeah, please do.
that was back. God, when was that? That was we started SpeedStix in I think 2019. It was kind of mid. It was just before. No, it must be 2018. It was 2018. So I'd moved back to New Zealand with my family for a few years, and we were over here for a wedding, and and I had a meeting with Mike at that point because to talk about doing this because I looked around at some other products and I just didn't think they were optimal. I mean, the ones that the most well known ones out there,
Mm,
that there's you got to cut three of them around. Um, they don't come with any sort of training program. And I kind of spoke to Mike about this, and I said, "Look, I just think we could do this better. I don't see there's a reason why everyone's got a well, I say everyone, but 95% of the golf world now has got a driver where they can take the head off. I don't see why we can't make something that sticks on that, and then you're using your own shaft, your own grip. The feel's the same,
yep,
and it's much more portable. It's just going to go in a little box. You can chuck it in your bag.
yeah,
It's there for your warm up before golf. It's there for when you go to the range. You're not having to take three extra things around.
absolutely, yep.
And that's kind of where the idea was born. Um, that was probably about 4 or 5 years after that jump in my speed,
Right.
and I didn't keep up the training, and then it just starts regressing back. My speed now is about 113, 114.
Still, I
I'm
mean, for most
probably
golfers, they're looking for that increase anyway, aren't they? You know,
yeah. I mean, I'm what well, I'm 52 now, so I'm not
yeah.
you know I'm I'm not
Getting it out there.
I'm not in my 40s or my 30s anymore. But yeah, if you work at it and keep it up, and if I dedicated myself to really putting the effort in at the gym and doing the speed training, I might be able to creep that up a bit more. But like all these sort of things, it's a balance with
Of course.
work and then how much time you can devote to golf, and two kids at home and a wife that doesn't necessarily understand how much time could/should go into golf for you to really improve. So
Yeah. You're speaking my language. You are speaking
yeah,
my language.
yeah, everyone. But I mean, as Mike would often say to me, and it really doesn't take that long. It's a motivational thing, or a thing about motivation that to do this properly, you aren't asking for 2 hours a day for the entire week. You can do I mean, how long is it taking you to do the sort of the training program, including a speed session?
So mobility, I would say mobility every day you can get done probably within 10 minutes. You know, if you write down, because what I find is obviously the time is if you're rewatching the video obviously every day. So if
Yeah,
someone doesn't take the effort to write down what they need to know to do for that your mobility stuff, you could
yeah,
get it done within 10 minutes.
yeah,
No problem at all because it's not extensive. They're not set upon set upon set. Most of them are on one side, X amount of reps, on the other side, X amount of reps. So 10 minutes on that. I would say the workout program, again, taking the effort once you've watched the video, if you take the effort to make sure that you write it down, you're organized with it. Most people that go to the gym are used to doing something like that anyway, right?
yeah, yeah.
You wouldn't rewatch the YouTube video on how to do a bench press every single time you do a bench press. You work it
No,
out,
exactly. Yeah,
you
yeah,
write it down. So those things, I would say the workout routine you can have half an hour.
yeah,
I say would be enough time with a decent amount of rest between sets.
yeah,
And then as far as the speed training session, I would say the speed training session, which is what twice a week is optimum for speed training.
yeah,
Well rested, probably. with the rest, again, 15, 20 minutes
Yeah,
tops would
yeah.
probably be about. So again, so mobility every day, 10 minutes a day, workout, if you're doing 3, 4 workouts a week,
And
that's
that's sort of like the if you were someone that was already a regular gym goer,
yeah,
uh, then we'd say yeah, th three strength training sessions a week,
yeah,
two to three. But if you're just starting out, then you only get probably it's
yeah,
one strength train because you've got to work your body into these things. You don't want to we're not there's no point doing three strength training sessions and absolutely smashing your body to bits so that you can't
yeah.
move in the weekend. That's not
It's not
that's not
optimum
optimal.
for your
No,
game.
it's not. No, no, exactly. So it's so really, and you're not doing the speed training on the strength training days either. So
No,
you're looking at a speed, you're doing your mobility work and your speed train. That's 20 minutes, and you're doing your if you include your workout, and and you are someone that's already having done a lot of it, or you've been in the program for a while.
mm,
You're looking at 40 minutes. So it's really, we're asking for half an hour to 40 minutes a day. Well,
yeah,
not every day either. That's only 5 days. So
exactly. Most
it's not,
days,
yeah,
10, 20 minutes.
yeah,
Um, and if you love golf anyway, um, it's you're just going to be sitting. The way I equate it to, I'm just going to be probably sitting on my phone at the moment. I could have been doing that, watching golf on Instagram.
yeah,
Is it also, you can do it whilst if you're someone who struggles for motivation, just make sure you set enough time, wake up a little bit earlier, do something like that. Start your day with your mobility because that's how I do it. I basically start my day with my mobility exercises, and um and you instantly feel better. Like it's a great way to start your day. Like great
yeah,
way,
yeah,
like
yeah,
your body
exactly.
feels a bit more ready. You cracked and everything like that you need to in the morning. So it's yeah, I think it's a very reasonable um time allocation that's needed for it as well. And you feel it. You instantly feel better. Your posture, naturally, if you start thinking about your posture starts improving with things
Yeah,
like that anyway. So it's going to impact other areas of your life as well, which is obviously the dual benefit of the program.
yeah, exactly. And that is again, I mean, we did see, quite a gap in the market, if you like, with both the portability aspect and the training program aspect of it because um it just wasn't out there. I mean, we do have, and we do sell on our website access to the training program for people that have got a different speed training product and don't have that with it because it just doesn't come with it. I mean, there are other obviously guys out there that are doing training programs for golf,
Yeah.
but none of them that come with a speed training product. So you're kind of having to go down two avenues to get what we give you as part of the package.
Yeah, absolutely. And also I was thinking about this as well, because obviously there was probably concern of, oh, people are going to have to take the driver head off. And some people might not be used to doing that. Speaking from personal experience, it's a good idea to take your driver head off every now and again for the shaft, because I had a driver head that must have been sitting on a shaft that I bought off the shelf,
Yeah,
and it must have been on there for X amount of years. The moment you adjusted that and changed it to a new position, because it was set for so long, the shaft had basically gone, and the moment I hit another drive, the shaft snapped. So
oh,
actually
really?
yeah, they said basically once it gets set in a position for too long, if you then change or adjust it, um it can then sometimes cause it to split. So in that setting, it's a good idea to take your driver head off and make sure everything's okay as regularly as you can. So again, it's something that works pretty well with the SpeedStix system, actually, the maintenance of your driver. Yeah.
Wow,
Does
yeah, I didn't realize that was a thing. It's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's a
I
it's a
should be all
good
right because mine comes off fairly often to to put the weight on. So
it's a good
uh,
practice. I think it's a good practice to do it. Essentially, it's what they were made to do.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, they
It makes
are.
sense. It's super easy
Yeah,
system. The adapter just slides on,
yeah,
then on top goes the weighted part of it. So easy to do. And like it says in the videos as well, a nice little rest between sets.
yeah. It doesn't. It's not an onerous process to do that. And obviously, like you say, they are made to come off and be adjusted. So,
Yeah,
but we do mention in the video just to make sure that you know what your settings are because you don't want to put it back in on the wrong one. Although, perhaps you find a different setting that works a bit better for you.
exactly. Start dropping those degrees down a little bit because you're just sending it now. That
Yeah,
might be it.
exactly. Yeah, you might need that adjustableness after your when you pump your swing speed up by 10 miles an hour.
Yeah, yeah, just a little bit, just a little bit. So whereabouts are you playing your golf at the moment, Andrew? When you're able to get out there?
I'm lucky enough to be a member at the London Club up
Ah,
in
lovely.
yeah, just in near Brands Hatch there. So it's got two stunning courses there. So yes, very lucky. It's
I've heard good things. I had a friend who went up and played there with one of the members up there, and he said it was beautiful. Yeah, just so well kept. Just a lovely place to play some golf. So that's
yeah. Even with the horrendous weather we've got, it's wet on the fairways. I mean, I think everywhere there's been so much rain in the past couple of 3 months that there's nowhere that's not wet, but the greens are still fantastic. Well, the greens are just there's
yeah.
places that won't get greens anywhere near this good in the middle of summer. So
No, no, exactly.
yeah, yeah, we're
I,
pretty lucky.
I was saying to someone the other day, actually, it was Jeremiah from Athlons, who make golf shoes over in Arizona, and I said to him, basically been 40 days of grey clouds and rain over here, and he
Yeah,
went, "Oh, it's 70 degrees Fahrenheit and sunshine over here."
yeah,
So
yeah,
I ended the call at that moment there. I said, enough with you, enough of this."
yeah.
But
But
I think we're getting some good weather soon, and hopefully we can get out and actually play some golf.
yeah. I still turn up and play in the winter, but there's been a few a, a couple of occasions where you go out and it's just like the greens are concrete, fully iced over, and the ball's just but it's just and that's not golf.
It's
It's
not golf. It's same as temporary greens, isn't it? It's like that's not golf.
yeah. I
I
mean
struggle with those.
we're very lucky that we never have temporary greens and never have temporary tees at the London Club. So it's
Fantastic.
that is
I
lucky.
think it's a nonsense. Close the course. If you put in I can deal with temporary tee boxes because that is what it is, and you can just treat it like you would at a range essentially. But temporary greens, it's just what are we
That's
doing?
not. Uh,
Let's just get it on the green and say we two putted and walk away. Repair your pitch mark and walk away.
yeah,
I
yeah.
yeah, I can't be doing with that. So at least you don't have to deal with that. That's nice. Nice grass range
No,
as well at the London Club.
there is, although it's closed in the winter for obvious reasons. But yeah,
Yeah,
during the summer, it's great. Yeah, that's it's well utilized. It's yeah, and they've got I think the planning permission's now been approved for a hotel, and they're going to redo the driving range. So it's going to put in um they're basically targeting, I think, a Ryder Cup. They're in the sort of running for that. So
ah,
there's
okay.
a hotel being built and whole new 400-yard driving range, which is good for any of you doing speed training
That's it. That's it.
up and
Yeah,
over 400
absolutely.
yards.
Gonna need
Um,
all of that.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, with the range balls as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think they're putting and some new short game facilities and stuff in as well, apparently. So
Oh, that's
yeah,
good.
that'll be pretty cool if that all sort of
I was having this debate the other day with someone that basically short game facilities. I think I still don't know if I believe what I'm saying when I'm saying this, but I think they should probably charge for short game facilities at places. Reason being, you don't go there because it's free. I have this in my head that because it's free to go there, people view it as optional. Whereas if you had to pay for it and say it was floodlit and more courses and it was better kept because they had some money coming in to look after it,
Yeah.
people would go and practice their short game more, go and practice their putting more, things like that. I think because you pay for the driving range, you pay for the bucket of balls there, you you're more drawn to it. So I still don't know if I believe what I'm saying. I think places should charge more for short game putting greens. I think.
I mean, personally, I absolutely love practicing short game.
Okay, there we go.
I could spend hours on a short game area practicing because I think it's a part of the game that's it's really fun. You get your real sort of, I guess, there's so many different ways of getting the job done around the greens that you see and different shots you've got to be able to pull off from different lies and
Yeah.
different pins and whatever else. And I was lucky enough to spend sort of um, a long time working with Gary Smith, who was he was the England short game coach actually for I think 15 years.
Hmm.
Had all the guys like Luke Donald and
Right.
Casey and all those sort of guys I think come through the EGU system with him. Um, and he had a system of short game that he kind of developed about he called it's the linear approach, basically lining everything up, kind of straight. So you'd aim your feet, knees, hips, shoulders all square with the target. You're not standing open,
Okay.
uh, faces face of the club and the ball forward, and it just yeah, it's sort of really took up my love of the short game when I did a lot of stuff with Gary. We had some iPhone apps that we had out there for a while,
Right.
um, golf related stuff. So yeah, that was yeah. I'm not a stranger to a good short game area.
That's good. And the putting side of
Yeah,
things.
yeah, same thing. As long I'm yeah, I can spend hours doing that as well. I could just I've always been one that loves I love practicing. Like I
Hmm.
can spend ages at a ages at especially a grass range,
Yeah.
and equally on the short game area and putting.
Yeah.
Um, just like I like practicing. I don't find I know a few friends and a few golfer mates that can't stand it and probably that they might occasionally go up there for a bit of a warm up, but it's not their sort of thing. But
Yeah.
I can spend hours and not get bored because there's so many different shots you can play and things you can practice and
Absolutely. Yeah.
if you get the right sort of facilities, if you're ever lucky enough to go up to Woburn and spend some time with up there in the short game area there.
It's where Dan Greaves is based, isn't it?
Yeah, and also Jamie Donaldson, who's the aim point guy. If
Oh,
you
okay.
ever get a chance to do, despite the fact Lucas Glover might not think aim point's a good thing. If
Oh,
you,
yes. Was it slowing the game down or something?
yeah, yeah, if you get a chance to do it, go and have a look because it's black magic.
Yeah. It's not
That
slowing the game down if you hold the putt, though, is it? So it's just,
no, exactly, and I don't think and the amount of the guys that are doing green reading with their eyes and they're walking around back both sides of the hole back and forward, then you can't tell me that that's taking less time than someone that walks up and takes a couple of readings with their feet on their line. So
I'm not convinced pace of play is even an issue. I feel like it's something that's just been repeated over and over. I mean, when I'm watching a broadcast, I'm not normally thinking this is taking too long, first of all, because it's chopping from shot to shot. There's so much golf available. The amount of time they're taking, other than when maybe was it John Rahm and Brooks were waiting at the Masters last year for quite a long time. I've forgotten who was in front of them now, but someone was taking their time, and that was pretty obvious. But that's more of a television issue than what it is pace of play issue, if you know what I mean. But
yeah,
I mean, how much do you want to speed it up? I mean, it's golf. Everyone expects it to take 4 hours is kind of the time you'd expect, and on tour you expect it probably takes a little bit longer. It's more
it
busy.
does. Yeah, and they're playing for a lot of money. I mean, it's
Exactly.
although you do, I mean, certainly guys that I play regularly, like our swindle gets round pretty quick. If you're, the they whip round. People, we don't sort of muck around, but it's
Yeah.
but there's different level. I remember playing in Scotland once with my old man, and we were there was these. I think there was three or four Scottish guys behind us, and they were just um right up our behinds the entire way around. We're like, we're not playing slow. What's going on? And then we said we're just going to let them through, and we watched them on the green, and all four of them were putting at the same time.
Oh,
Like all
really?
four balls were going at the hole, and it was just, and they were running between each, like it's like, oh, they're obviously pretty keen to get to the bar, so we'll let them go, and
Yeah,
we'll,
yeah. Oh, that's mad.
yeah.
Oh,
So
that's crazy.
it's that's not a way to play golf either. I mean, you're out
No,
there doing stuff. It's not you don't need to sprint around.
it's
Um,
part of it's social, isn't it? At the end of the day, like I think it's a good opportunity to talk with your friends,
yeah,
have fun with it. And if that means taking a little bit longer on a green, then that is what it is. I mean, obviously let people play through, courteous and everything that happens, but you shouldn't have to feel rushed. I don't think playing a round of golf that sort of takes away some of the joy of it. Um, but I also understand that people don't want to be sitting behind somebody that doesn't let them play through. So,
no,
but that's pretty easily solved, and it just let them play through. Job done.
yeah, yeah. There's a lot more frustrating than people that don't have the etiquette or don't,
I'll give you an
um,
example. I played at East Sussex National, and I was just playing by myself. My wife was with me, and she was riding around on the we had the buggy and stuff, and I got stuck behind a group like four groups of four ball, essentially like a little society day, all
oh yeah,
ladies, and they didn't even. I mean, they saw me, and you don't want to sort of have to shout out. It's a nice place. I didn't
yeah.
want to start shouting out like, "Can I play through?" Because I thought, well, there's four in front of them, so I don't fancy my chances on the next one. And it took me 3.5 hours to play 9 holes
Oh no,
as a one.
yeah, that's not fun.
It wasn't fun. Initially, I thought, oh, it's a nice time. Me and my wife just, we'll just chill out. We can get a drink and take a time. But in the end, I was actually playing all right, and I was just frustrated in the end, trying to
Yeah,
wait. So we quit. We quit after that. But
it kind
yeah,
of
just
ruins the rhythm of your round as well.
oh, totally. And then it becomes not fun because then you start looking at it and going, well, we're talking another 3.5 hours here if I
Yeah,
carry on. I don't think
yeah.
my wife didn't fancy putting up with me for 7 hours on a golf course.
No,
Um, so yeah,
no.
just courtesy. Courtesy is the main thing. But getting back to speed sticks, Andrew, where do you see where do you see speed sticks being like in a year from now? Because obviously we've spoken before. Obviously you have your day job,
Yep.
and obviously SpeedStix is the passion project. It's something you truly believe in. It's something that very much makes sense. Every part of it works seamlessly for a golfer to try and increase speed. So, but where do you see it going in a year? Do you have sort of plans for any adaptations in any way, or marketing strategy, whatever it may be?
Um, I guess in this I think I alluded to this earlier on. The biggest, I think there's two big challenges that need to be overcome and are a little bit difficult to overcome. One is um a go most golfers would rather spend 500 quid on a driver that tells them they're going to get another 7 yards, which it
Every year, which is
won't.
impressive.
Every year. It's, yeah. So we should already all be hitting at 400 yards.
Yeah.
We've got all the new drivers. Um, um, so they'll spend 500 quid chasing that. But they won't spend like we said, what was it? Say 2 hours a week of their time, and 100 and well, at the moment we're on sale here in the UK at 125 quid. They won't spend 125 quid and um 2 hours a week for a month to get themselves another 25, 30 yards.
Yeah.
And um, you know, when you look at that on the face of it, it's just crazy, but that
Yeah.
just is what it is. And also getting people to understand and realize that by hitting it further, you're not going to hit it more in the trees
Yeah.
or more offline. I mean, um, there's something really interesting I saw pop up through John Sherman. I don't know if you know who John Sherman is, Practical
No, no.
Golf. So that's another really, really good resource I'd recommend. Um, Grab his book off Amazon, Four Foundations of Golf.
Okay.
He talks a lot about the mental aspects of golf. Very good on that. Again, when you read his book, he'll mention in there that, the biggest predictor of scoring and the best thing that you can do is to hit the ball further,
Mhm.
get training. He says that throughout his book, but he also talks about um, the mental aspect of golf. Anyway, he put out a stat for Rory, who obviously um, when Bryson went through his big transformation and bulked up massively, put on that huge amounts of club head speed and started hitting at miles, Rory perhaps felt a little bit aggrieved that he was getting driven and went into his own sort of speed training and then come out and sort of said, he followed down that path and then sort of he's decided that, that wasn't for him and he's gone back. Um, so I haven't got them in front of me, but you can have a look at John Sherman's post. I think Rory's put on 3 to 4 yards every year since 19.
Right.
So well, John Sherman basically said he's still doing his speed training. It's
Oh
not
yeah.
he just doesn't want to talk about it now and doesn't want it to be the focus of the thing that it was him and Bryce in a speed training race. So
Hmm.
you know those guys are absolutely all doing it because
Of course.
they it's fundamental for them to be able to compete. I mean, you just don't see guys that are short able to compete.
No. But
Um,
he's my height, Rory, and the speed he generates is,
yeah, I mean he's
you know,
unbelievable. He's
yeah.
unbelievable. It's just yeah.
And you saw on the Netflix on the full swing, actually, he was doing one of the exercises, which is part of the program as well, of this horizontal slam ball. You see him doing that all the time. So he's following a training. He's following
Oh, for
100%.
sure. Yeah.
You know,
All of
it's
that.
the 1%. It's finding that 1% in 0.1%, and all
Yeah,
those guys should be doing it.
yeah,
And I think the top, your top 50, top 100 golfers in the world are 100% doing that. You know,
yeah, yeah,
maximum gains. That's what they need.
yeah. Yes, yeah. So back to the so where do we see SpeedStix?
Mm.
What I'd like to see is I'd like to see when I turn up at a golf club that 50% of the guys there on the range are doing some speed work. Um, then it might make it a little bit harder to win the to
Yeah,
go
be
out and
careful
win
what you wish
the
for,
and
Andrew.
win. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It could make competition a bit stiffer, and as I'm getting older, I might start being the shortest one in the four ball rather than one of the longer ones. But that's hey, that's all part of it. I think people enjoy the golf more when they score better, and you score better when you hit it further. So,
Yeah.
so I'd love to be able to make SpeedStix my main job,
Yeah.
um, and it would be about sort of pushing that out there, getting that as the go-to place for speed training because of what we do, as a package with the whole training program alongside of the product itself. So, I mean, I think it. Well, I know it stands up to scrutiny because we've had lots of guys report back to us about the speed gains they're getting and how good they're finding the program.
Hmm.
Um, it's just about, I guess, the education of the golfing public that speed training is for everyone. There isn't. there isn't situations where if you're playing golf that you shouldn't be doing it. There's people, if you're coming in here with, carrying certain injuries or whatever else, then yeah, absolutely you'd speak to your doctor first about doing this thing. But if you're um but that's a lot where our mobility and testing program goes through stuff at a start so that you can sort of improve those areas where your body's perhaps not, up to the task.
Yeah.
And if that was the case, you might go on the mobility program for, 2 or 3 weeks before you start any of the other stuff, so that you're clearing up those, those pieces where they don't work properly. But golf is a very physical sport. I mean, people
Mhm.
that don't play it, sort of think it's an old man sport, and it's not, it's not athletic. But the golf swing's a very explosive thing.
Yeah.
You're putting a lot of force through, that sort of left side chain of your body to move that club head at sort of any sort of a speed. So,
Yeah.
um, you want to have the optimum condition in your body to be able to handle that, and then to be able to increase it, because that's how you get better. So yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Those people sort of that say it's not a sport. I mean, in May, I'll go on a golf trip again where we play 36 holes a day for 3 days in a row. Um,
yeah,
and that I challenge anyone not to hurt after day one. You know,
yeah,
it's a battle after that. It really
yeah,
is. It's an enjoyable
yeah,
one. But it's a battle after that. So you got to be prepared. The guys that are prepared, the guys that are not.
yeah,
And yeah, it's just one of those things, isn't it? I don't know whether golf will ever shift that sort of unwanted mantle of, oh, it's not athletic. You'd like to think with the guys that are coming through now, and you look at your Ludwigs, you got I'm trying to think of some other players, like you said, Tony Finau's. Those guys look like athletes
yeah, yeah. I mean, it is.
now.
Um, I think Tiger
Mm,
made good strides and changed that when he came on board, and especially when, he obviously, if you see any of him as as a junior, he was, you know, tall, skinny, had
yeah,
no bulk to him at all, and then he went rapidly about sort of bulking up, because he recognized that the especially the stresses of the speed that he was moving at, that was putting on his body, that he needed that bulk to to help support what was what he was putting his body through.
yeah,
In fact, it was I think it was Gary Smith actually. He was talking about Tiger specifically, because there was a lot of mention in the media at the time that it was detrimental to his golf swing, the bulk that he was putting on. But his frame and his I guess his ethnic background, he had so much elasticity in his muscles that
hmm
he couldn't bulk up too much. There wasn't too much bulk that he could put on, because in order to support the speed he was swinging at it, and his joints and everything else, he needed that muscle bulk to sort of to sort of help support that. And he was that sort of elastic that it was never going to be a problem with him. And we've not seen, I mean, you saw Bryson when he was at his biggest. I mean,
yeah,
he was that was that I got to admit that I wasn't Bryson's biggest fan prior to that, but once he started doing that, and then I still remember at the Bears Club when he tried to drive that par five over the lake. I mean, that was just fun.
yeah,
And then from then, and obviously his social media presence since then, when he's come out with his a lot of the stuff he's doing on social media, that trying to make a hole in one over his house, and the break 50, and the
yeah.
he's just fun. I think he's a really, it's a bit of a loss to the PGA Tour, I think, that he's not on there, because I find him really fun to watch now, and he's
You imagine him in TGL. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
it'd be a better product. It
yeah,
just would be a
yeah,
better product. But
yeah,
him, you put your John Rahms, they they'll do it. they'll do it hopefully soon. Hopefully
Yeah,
soon. We'll go back to Tiger as well. I mean, you look at Tiger now. Obviously, Tiger's had his injuries from outside of golf,
yeah.
and you look at now his top half. I mean, he's built. I mean, considering what is he? He's 40 now. Tiger nearly
39.
49. Yeah. So he sorry, yeah, I was meant to say 50, 49. So he could essentially go on the senior tour next year if he wanted to, but
Yeah.
he's still hitting it when he's on, he's still hitting it further than most of the guys out there. His club head speed is still hitting like what is it, 180, 182, something like that. He's hitting
Well, it's ball speed up. Yes,
ball
ball
speed.
speed up. Ball
Yeah,
speed up over 180s. Yeah.
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 So in that way, like you can see the benefits of the fact that exercise and golf go hand in hand, and lifting weights. It goes. I mean, lifting weights generally, as a rule of thumb, I was saying to my mum, because she'd never lifted any kind of weights in her life. And I said, well, as you get older, your bone density goes down and you can actually, lifting weights is just going to help you in every aspect of life. She's like, oh, I can't do that. I'm like, it doesn't have to be a lot, just something small to start off with and just
Actually,
get that.
that's such a good point. I mean, I've you know listened to a lot of podcasts recently, specifically around that sort of thing, and I've got two a couple of daughters, one's 17 and one's just turned 12, and the 12-year-old may be a bit young to start, but the other one should absolutely start, because the best period for increasing bone density is between your mid to late teens and your mid 20s, and
Okay.
especially for women it's massively important, because as you get older, the more muscle mass that you can carry through into old age, the healthier you'll be in old age. That's
Yeah.
just that's a proven fact. It's just
Mhm.
you want to be carrying as much muscle as you can as you get into your 70s and 80s and longer. And there was a statement I heard from, I think it was Gary Brecker, who's become relatively popular in the realms of sort of self-help, sort of longevity, if you like, and what his phrase was, that aging is the aggressive pursuit of comfort.
Mhm.
So the more things you can do that are a bit uncomfortable for your body, and that's lifting weights is one of those things. It's not particularly comfortable, but
No,
it 100% will help you when it comes to aging. So ignoring the golf aspect of it, it's just good for your health.
I like a little saying of like, do the hardest thing that you've got to do that day so everything else becomes easy. Um,
Yep.
and I relate that to I've got to set it up again properly, but I enjoy doing ice baths for that exact reason.
Yeah.
The hardest thing I'm going to do that day is get in that bath. It's just dreadful, but
Mine was 5 degrees this morning, and
oh, five
it was
degrees.
cold.
I've set up a whiskey barrel. Basically, I went and got a whiskey barrel because I want to do that. I wanted a home setup one, so I've got a whiskey barrel which I've just got to finish up prepping, and then the plan is fill that up, plenty of ice in it. I mean, this time of year doesn't really need it, should be fine. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
but
It doesn't need it, but mine just has I got an ice tub one that's I can sort of get mostly laying down in, and it has a pond filter going through it, so it's on all the time. But it doesn't need any ice in it at the moment. I am going to get a chiller for it, because I think 5 degrees is about the sweet spot. But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's pretty brutal when you and you don't want to get in it. But that like you say, that doing something hard actually forges new neural pathways in the brain as well. So
Mhm.
you're forcing yourself to do something. You really don't want to do it, because there's not once I've ever gone and said, I can't wait to get in there.
No.
Like, you don't want to do it. But you get it, and then,
Even in
you
the
know,
summer, it's
yeah,
so cold, it doesn't matter. It's
yeah,
not it's not that it's not enjoyable, but that's what you get out and you get the endorphins, you get all of the positive, the blood rushing back into the extremities of your body. Just it's just fantastic. It's just good for you. But
yeah,
like you said, that is one of the struggles that you got with speed sticks. Obviously, is people doing things that make them maybe feel uncomfortable, or those things that are going to be difficult to achieve, they would much rather go and purchase a new driver, which is obviously going to add an extra 8 yards every single year. Which, hey, let's not question the marketing. I'm sure it's bang on. I'm sure there's, I'm sure next year, another 8 yards is going to be there,
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean,
which is,
I have I will change. I have a pretty strict rule with changing my with changing my driver, and that's that it's got to go further but not more crooked, or
mhm.
straighter but just as far. And it's did I've changed a few, but they're not that they certainly not every year. And the last one was because it went a lot straighter, but didn't go less.
What are you using at the moment?
Paradigm. So I got
Okay.
the
Yeah.
Callaway Paradigm, and I shifted from a Stealth,
Yep.
and the Stealth was the one before the Stealth. I think was the M5. So quite a few versions before that, but I never found a tailor-made one after that. That was well, they said they went 5 yards further, but I always test it with my shaft in a simulator, and if it's I know if it's going further or not, and none of them do. So
The
uh,
QI35 is a bit of a strange one from everything I've seen. I've not hit that one yet. I've hit the Callaway Elite and I've hit the Titleist GT2.
yeah,
But the QI35, from everything I've seen, it just looks like the spin numbers are far too low. It seems like it's spinning at like 1800 for a lot of people, with the loft that they would have currently used. So they're talking about the fact that you'd probably have to loft it up a lot, um, which again probably is not going to help in the long run. I mean, probably stick with what you've got would be
yeah. But I do know that and I've seen that with a few of the guys I play golf with, that the QI10 I think was a very good driver. A
yeah,
lot of guys that picked that up. Um, like for forgiveness, basically, not
yeah,
necessarily further, but a lot of them went from some of the stalls were could kind of hit it all over the planet, but the QI10 they certainly did a good job of straightening that out, and a
yeah,
lot of them having really good luck with that. Being a very good performing driver. But I mean, the one thing about the QI35 I like the look of is the one that's got the embedded face dots, because
yeah,
my launch monitor at home needs face dots for the head measurement stuff, and it's really annoying putting those little stickers on. So
yeah.
if I
For a
can put
club fitter, I think is a dream, isn't it? Those, yeah,
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 yeah. So I might see if I can get a hold of one of those, just for at least for the speed training stuff out the back, to
absolutely.
get yourself a measurement every now and again, because it is good to one of the things that's beneficial when you are doing this is to be able to see those numbers creeping up when you, because it's the motivation aspect of doing it is much easier when you start seeing those numbers increase. I mean, when
Yeah,
you're first you see the numbers increase, then all of a sudden when you're playing, you notice that you're on holes you're normally hitting an 8 iron and you're hitting a wedge,
yeah,
and it's when those in par fives that you've never been able to get on before, you're all of a sudden you're having a crack at them in two. So when that starts happening, and you sort of then think back, hang on a minute, I'm not normally sort of here. Um, Golf, the motivation to keep doing it is much easier.
exactly. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I can't wait. I've got, yeah, like I said, I've got next Monday, so that'll be my first time I actually get to test it, sort of somewhat after a couple of weeks, to see where I'm at a little bit. By then I will also, I call myself a crank athlete. I don't think they've given me that title at all, but I'll have a crank a crank driver as well. So I'll be able to actually have a driver which is better fitted for my swing as well, based on my swing analysis and stuff like that. So it'll be fascinating to see. I'm just in my head, I've got a small goal of just getting to the teens, get into the sort of 110 to one sort of 15, 113 mark if I can. Um,
I mean,
because
that's a if you're cruising around at there, you're faster than most of the guys that are playing. Other than the guys round scratch and plus handicaps, there's not many guys that are cruising around in the sort of mid sort of teens at most golf clubs.
Exactly, and that will just please me very, very much to know that. Their short game will be better than mine. That's for sure. I'm going to take some of your tips and find some more enjoyment again in my short game practice. But it's just so hard when you see the range there, sort of beckoning you in to hit as many balls as you possibly can, and sort of lose all focus as to why you actually went that day.
Well, the thing about the short game, if you because you start getting short par fours that are coming into range with your drivers, and you're having to go at par fives and two, and then you've then got short game shots for eagle and trying to get up and down for birdie. So then all of a sudden that's what becomes starts becoming
Okay.
fun.
Well, I like all those words that you said. Get some birdies and some eagles in there. That'll be very nice. I had two eagles last year, so looking to build on that this
Nice.
year.
Yeah,
Looking to
yeah.
build on that.
They're fun birds, those ones.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely let everyone know on the golf course that went in that
Yeah.
day. Well, Andrew,
Yeah.
I'm gonna, thank you so much for coming on. Um, Thank you ever so much for sending over the speed sticks for me to build some speed ready for this summer. I'd love to have you on again, sort of later on in the summer, and discuss
Yeah.
where I've sort of got to, and
Yeah, that'd be great.
see if you've got any more tips for me, and absolutely people to look to as well for sort of game management, course management. You had some wonderful insights on that, so thank you so much, Andrew, for coming on.
That's been great. Thanks for having us, and keep up with the work, the training, and keep posting some updates into us so we can keep a track of it. That'd be great.
Absolutely, yeah. I did do one video of me training, but my legs looked very, very white. I was wearing a pair of shorts and my legs looked really horrible actually. So I deleted that video, but I will re-record another one of me in trousers doing that. So
Definitely trousers weather over here.
yeah, yeah. I thought it would make me feel athletic. And then in reality the legs were far too white. So we'll wait to bring out the shorts until summer. But
Yeah,
I'll
well, by that stage, and after a few squats and deadlifts, you'll be the legs will be looking all bulky. So it'll be
Oh
fun.
yeah, that's true actually. Yeah, 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 absolutely. Thank you so much, Andrew.
Yeah, good to chat.
Absolutely. Thank you.
See ya.